Captain Ibrahim Troare was honored to address 700 members of ADDI, including Dr. Arikana. I used speech recognition and translation software in order to make sure the article I read matched what the captain said. Let's get in. What's up, ladies and gents? Thank you so much for stopping by. Social Nurse here. I'll put a link to this article in the description box. Also embedded in this web page that contains this article is a video. You can also watch that video on YouTube. The title centers Black Americans, but other people were involved. But this is just an example of how marketable or attention-getting social media articles, sites, or conversations are if you include Black Americans. It's a fact. So other groups center Black Americans. It's attention seeking. It's a moneymaker. It gains viewership and interest, right? Before I go on to read this article, let me remind you that many racially Blacks that are not ethnic Black Americans, we've been known as different ethnonyms, most recently African American or Afro American as a broad title or demographic name, right? We understand this. There's some other names going around, right? But you know who we are, right? Our people are not immigrants into America. We are generationally deep because of the chattel slavery system that was here in America. With that said, we over here on my channel do center racially Black people that are not in my ethnic group. Why do I do it? Well, they've asked for it pretty much. Over there on TikTok, a lot of conversation through venom at ethnic Black Americans because racially Black people were claiming and exclaiming that Black Americans only center themselves. Black Americans have main character syndrome. Black Americans think they are the only racially Black people on the globe. None of that is really true at all. So that was projection asking to be talked about. They want to be talked about. And I do it over here. And sometimes when you center other groups, that centering might not be what you want it to be. It's happened to my group a lot. The ethnic Black American is a center point for even America to push out, whatever they want, how they want when we're talking about media and propaganda, right? I think from what I've seen online, a lot of times my group, we're talking to each other. Because at first we were, the Black people. Other groups weren't using Black, right? Now you've got Black people that have immigrated over into the West and they're calling themselves Black now. But a lot of times these other racially Black people aren't being talked about or to, but it's the World Wide Web. So they're on the outside looking in. Sometimes centering other groups is not the best thing. In this case, I'm going to center Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Troare, in this article on Sierra Leone Telegraph.com. Again, I'll put the link in the description box because the article is there along with an embedded video. The title targets Black Americans. The headline: Burkina Faso extends citizenship to Black Americans to help boost the economy. Off the bat, I do not think that that is a bad trade. You help boost our economy and you can get citizenship. That's not a bad trade because I don't think people should go to other people's nations using government benefits, getting taxpayers free money and expenses paid for, not contributing in a way that they should, right? Just always take, right? I don't think that is a good thing, right? So I've said in other videos, I think that the Black American should have a protected soft landing pad if they go into these other racially Black nations. Let's get on with the article. Sierra Leone Telegraph, 12 November 25. Last Friday, 7th November 2025, Captain Ibrahim Troare welcomed 700 African Americans, Afro-Cubans, Afro-Europeans who affirmed their commitment to live and invest in Burkina Faso. They were in Burkina Faso for a welcome home event sponsored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a Burkina Faso Institute. In his speech, Traore highlighted the significance of Pan-Africanism in his country's fight against neocolonialism and for the total liberation of Black people. He asserted that Africans are the most resilient in the history of humanity because they've resisted all possible foreign barbaric systems of domination. And he declared that Burkina Faso is not just fighting for its freedom and development, it is also fighting for Africa and the dignity of Black people. He referred to the visitors as 700 ambassadors of Burkina Faso. Traore announced that his government has lifted the financial requirement for obtaining permanent residence in Burkina Faso, which will allow the visitors to live and work in the country. He promised to support them to invest in various sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, food processing, and energy. He also spoke about the need to establish a Pan-African television and radio station in Burkina Faso. The Zimbabwean online activist and former African Union ambassador to the United States, who has been mobilizing support for Traore, Arikana Cihombori-Quao, was among the 700 visitors. So, this is good news, right? I believe that Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali have taken a stance. They are not willingly smiling, grinning, and tap dancing willingly. They are no longer willingly allowing their people to be undermined, participating in the undermining of their people, right? So this is a good story of centering Burkina Faso. Also, let me note that although this headline states citizenship, it is not citizenship. It is residency, which is not bad. Residency often leads to citizenship. I also want to say that even I did a video on Dr. Arikana being dragged and called out because according to individuals that shared information online, they were upset because they did not know where their fees, donations, money that they gave to the ADDI towards this Burkina Faso citizenship, that did not work out. According to them, they had not received any feedback from ADDI. They expressed that they felt undermined and scammed, for lack of better words. As a result of being called out and dragged for filth, Dr. Arikana did make a response, and she did say that citizenship was offered at first. that the Burkina Faso government changed its mind and residency was put on the table. As evidenced by this article, it seems that Dr. Arikana, has told the truth about the residency. You can take a look at this yourself. I still maintain that I believe Dr. Arikana ADDI spoke a little bit too slowly about the situation, and I'm not sure that they were going to return the people who wanted their money back, that money or not. But we can acknowledge that the residency portion of what she conveyed after the failed citizenship and the calling out, being dragged conversation has seemed to have come true, right? Check it out for yourself. Thank you for stopping by, Social Nerd.